See No Evil 2, you're back.
I'm back.
You're messing with more kids.
Well, they're not really kids. There's some grown-ups this time.
Are they? They're
Yeah.
grown-ups?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes it all better
It's all
then.
mature.
Tell us what this one is about.
This See No Evil 2 takes up where See No Evil left off.
Awesome.
And it takes place in a morgue, which is a pretty cool setting. The actual setting for the movie, there's a story behind that. It was filmed at an abandoned insane asylum in Vancouver. They filmed a lot of other things there. Falling Skies, X-Files, filmed some episodes there. So the thing is, the place is reportedly haunted. So that added another element to the shooting, of course. Everybody on the crew that had worked in Vancouver and had worked in this place, which was a lot of people, they all had a story to tell. From the little girl who was on the set one day who didn't belong to anybody, who disappeared, to equipment malfunctions, that sort of stuff.
What? Did you see anything with your own two eyes?
No, I didn't.
Do you believe in that stuff?
I was told that if I don't believe in ghosts, that I should go to the 4th floor at night in one of the buildings and make up my mind after that. So I don't know. But as far as the movie, yeah, it takes place in a morgue, and Jacob comes back from assumed death, alleged death.
Allegedly.
And from there, sort of takes care of business.
Oh man, the thing is that watching him/you taking care of business is upsetting to me.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean in a great way.
Oh, in a good way. Okay.
So up in Vancouver, I want to talk more about that insane asylum, basically, because you've rattled me so bad. Where do you rest, like in between takes, when you were shooting in an abandoned insane asylum?
In one of the rooms.
Are there like things in the rooms still?
No.
Are the walls really dirty?
No. Where we
Is there
shot.
plaster on the floor? You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah. Now, where we shot the majority of the film was one of the newer buildings.
Okay.
So everything was fine. All the bad stuff, as far as supposed encounters with the supernatural, happened in one of the other buildings, and we did shoot there for a couple days. And there is a labyrinth of tunnels under this particular building.
Of course there are.
And of course, myself and some of the guys had to go down there and check that. Yeah, and check it out.
Tell me what you saw.
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, it was really dark and dank. And it was creepy, but I didn't see anything. I took pictures with my cell phone to see if there would be any little bubbles or any weird things, which would have completely freaked me out.
Right.
But there were not.
See, because I would imagine, I mean, just from the outside, you were a big strapping dude, right? For me, watching you on like television, these movies, you're not afraid of anything.
No, not really.
Okay, so that's true.
Not really, but things you can't touch and
right, of course.
don't quite understand.
Existential things
Yes.
are the only thing that bother you then.
Well, I mean,
not like bats.
Yeah, bats. No, bats
Okay.
wouldn't scare me.
You don't care.
No, yeah, I don't care.
I'm loving visualizing you walking down these dark hallways and just being like, I'm afraid of no ghosts.
Like Ray Parker Jr. or something?
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Now, when you're about to perform, like whether it's on film, if you're going to be broadcast, do you have to do something to get into a certain headspace?
Not really. I've been doing it for a long time. I've been with WWE 19 years at this point.
So you just turn it on?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You just slip into it.
Yeah,
the character
much.
Like an old friend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far,
That was me getting too emotional.
Yeah, like an old friend, like an old shoe, right? No, I mean, I've just done it, and I know whatever process, that I have to go through, but it's pretty much automatic at this point. It's not like I have to do anything conscious to do whatever I have to do.
I'm a big fan of Danielle Harris in this film, and I'm not a fan of her in this film yet because I haven't had the pleasure of seeing it, but is there anything that you can tell us about some havoc that she wreaks in the film? She always plays these very kind of resourceful, strong characters.
And she's like that in this one, maybe not as much physically as she is in other movies. She's sort of the leader of the band, that keeps things together while everything's falling apart. And she shows a certain emotional strength that, keeps the group, for lack of a better term, operating when things look the worst, I guess.
Right. And aside from what you've already mentioned about, shooting in this insane asylum that has creeped me out, what is it that audiences are going to see that's really different?
What's going to be really different about this movie is the fact that we had the Saska twins involved.
Yeah.
And their talent, I think, is going to shine through. You know, if there is a term, art house horror, that's what this movie is going to be. I mean, it's going to be, on the one hand, you know, you're talking, you know, a horror movie, of course, in sort of the classic, you know, slasher monster style, but on the other hand, you know, it's going to be, I think, visually stunning.
Yeah.
Which is going to be completely different than
Their
what
stuff
people are used
looks,
to.
it looks so cool, so
Right.
I
Like
get that.
if you see American Mary, you know, I had not met Jen and Sylvia until like a couple days before we got on set, you know, but they gave me a copy of American Mary, and I was just completely blown away because it was not what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I hear all these, you know, it's just, you know, they're hardcore and it's just all gore and, you know, all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to check this out, and I'm watching, I'm going, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Because there's, you know, they wrote it too, of course, you know, and there's this really great story. You know, you have these characters that you can relate to, and it's shot like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really, really, really well done. So, you know, I think that's the thing that's going to set it apart. You know, I have only jokingly, half-jokingly, told the girls that to remember me when they become big shot directors, because I think that's going to happen for them very soon, because they are so talented.
Now, level with me about them being twins.
Okay? They are, to the best of my knowledge.
Right. But can you tell them apart?
Yes.
You said that really fast.
Yeah.
They're different people. I get that. I get that misconception about twins.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can be honest with me. Like,
No, I
do you
can't.
ever occasionally, like...
Nope. The first couple days I did, but after I got to know them, I didn't, because they have different personalities and they're different people.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you go on the record officially. Do you feel like you could do that with any twins? Is that like your
No.
superpower?
No. No, there are twins that even after all, you know, like in WWE, we have the Bella twins, and I cannot, you know, I finally have gotten it now, but it took me years. And I think too, you know, if you know, like twins casual, how did we get onto twins, by the way?
Yeah, you know what? It's just how that's how I roll, bro.
But, you know, if you know some identical twins casually, it's very hard to tell them apart.
Yes.
But once you actually get to know them, you know, you can sort of see the little differences.
Got it.
I'll tell you, working with those two on set was very interesting, because initially when that was presented with me, and I think everybody on the cast were like, okay, how are we going to work with two directors? You know, because you know, the role of the director is basically the boss on the set. They have the vision of the movie. He or she has the vision of the movie. This is how it's going to go, you know, and of course they take input from people, but ultimately they have the last word as to how things are going to look and all this stuff. So they have two people, and that generally doesn't work very well, because you have two people making decisions.
Yeah.
But what will happen is one sits behind the camera and watches the take, then the other one is actually on set, you know, and they don't talk to each other, but the one on set will say, okay, you know, we just need to tweak this, and please do this a little differently, and all this stuff. And then during the next take, the one who's watching on camera will say, okay, that's perfect, let's move on. And you're like, wait a second.
Wow.
Yeah, how did the one behind the camera, you know, and it's like they do have this like twin superpower psychic link. But that makes them, instead of being inefficient because there's two of them, it's almost not like you're working with two people. It's like you're working with one brain that has two bodies, you know. So it makes them super effective, if, you know, if you understand where I'm coming from.
I absolutely get it. That makes me doubly excited to see the film.
Yeah, doubly excited. I get it. It's a pun.
Right?
Yeah, got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.